cryptocurrency survive? That is the question we are asking today. It might sound like a small question, but it has some very big, complicated answers. Wherever cryptocurrency comes in, of course, it has to be complicated. Welcome to Explain Like I'm 10. I'm your host, Meghnad, where we ask some small questions with some big, complex answers. And to untangle this whole mess that is underway right now, we have with us Ashish Singhal. Hello, Ashish.
Hey Meghnad, thanks for inviting me.
And he is the CEO of one of the biggest crypto exchanges in India, Coinswitch, Kuber. And looking at Urjita's expression, we did a good job of hiding who he is. So, and our union leader of spectators today, who has no idea what the topic was or who the guest is Urjita Wani. Hello, Urjita.
Hello. I'm
Uh,
not invested in crypto. I'm just saying.
we'll get to that. We'll start with that actually. So she's a comedian, Ashish, and she also hosts this wonderful podcast on the IVM network called Has It Aged Well? So I thought she would be a fascinating person to have because, from my understanding, Urjita, you have no idea what cryptocurrency is.
इंटरनेट बंद कर दो ये भी बंद हो जाएगा ना मुझे बस इतना पता है.
So actually, before we start, I want to give some disclaimers, as it usually happens when we're talking about cryptocurrencies. Guys, this is not financial advice in any which way. We haven't been paid for this. So Ashish, please, you haven't paid us, so please tell people. And also, because I need to say this because nowadays there are like these finfluencers who do come on like podcasts like these and try to sell you whatever they have to sell. This is not one of those podcasts. So if you are listening to this, this is a podcast for absolute crypto noobs. That's why I have Urjita with us. And also we are going to talk a little bit about the mess that is underway right now in very, very simple terms, like you talk to a 10-year-old, right? So to begin with, Urjita, what is your understanding overall of cryptocurrency, if at all, right now?
I can see a producer and editor already laughing. क्या होने वाला है अभी? So my understanding of crypto is that I have invested in mutual funds, shares, FDs, PPFs. ये सब मैंने जो basically dad ने जो बोला वो मैंने कर दिया है already. मेरा per month इतना amount of money जाता है, that much I know. And also know that in सब में risks है, FD being the minimal and mutual funds being the सबसे ज़्यादा. बट आई नो कि जितना रिस्क म्यूचुअल फंड में भी नहीं है उससे 10 टाइम्स ज्यादा रिस्क क्रिप्टो में है. And like when I had heard about the definition of crypto and what it is and what it can do, I was like ये shady है. ये like if crypto was a person, ये तुमको कोलाबा के वो गली में ऐसे हुडी में मिलेगा. That is what was my understanding of crypto. ये मेरे को प्यार अच्छी बातों में फंसा के मेरे को गलत माल पकड़ाएगा. मेरे को नहीं चाहिए कि ये बहुत ही अच्छा लग रहा है. मैं बहुत उल्लू बन जाती हूँ. First of all, that is a disclaimer when it comes to money and other things in general. ऐसे कोई भी उल्लू बना के जा सकता है. एंड जब मैंने देखा कि यार when I heard that the government is taxing crypto 30% टाइम, तो तभी I was like, you know what, sometimes not doing something can also reap you benefits. Yeah. So I just like clapped for myself for not. I know this is not the right way to start because
it is actually the perfect way to start because Ashish, this is where we are coming in. This is basically and this is, you see this all over the internet, right? Yeah. Like this view which Urjita has. A, cryptocurrency is a scam. B, it is supremely risky, as it was proved last week. We'll come to that. And also 3, government इस पे tax लगा रहा है तो मैं इसमें पैसा क्यों डालूं? So what do you say to that usually?
So first of all, we need to separate what crypto blockchain are to how they are sold. I think what Urjita is talking about is how they are sold, right? So anything can be missold, right? Somebody can sell you, say, Sahara scam we know about, right? So we know a lot of scams which are missold, right? So anything good also, if in that disguise, but somebody sell you something bad doesn't mean that the existing entity is bad, right? So I will just say that understanding crypto and blockchain is important. Whether it exists in the next 10 years or not, whether it changed the reality of the internet or not, is only time will tell. I obviously believe that it would, and that's why I'm here. So my job is to explain the underlying truth about it. There is
Right.
a lot of mis-selling because a lot of people don't understand it. And because of it, they just get into the financial aspects of it, saying, oh, this will give me 100x return, right? Let's invest.
Get rich quick schemes,
Interest
basically.
schemes, right?
Yeah.
So I think what and her opinion is correct as well, that it is sold incorrectly by a lot of nefarious players or people in general, and that is why this perception has built up about crypto, and which hopefully I'll be able to clarify by the end of this podcast. It is definitely risky. I've always said that investing in crypto is like investing in a young startup which is trying to change the world, but there are 99% of chance that it will fail, but that is
Yeah.
1% of the chance that it will succeed and give you the ultimate return that you're looking for. So when you compare it to mutual fund, yes, it is very, very risky, right? But as your portfolio contains riskier assets as well as stable assets, this needs your portfolio allocation as well, maybe somewhere between 4 to 5% is what we suggest to our users. Obviously, it depends on your risk appetite overall. And understanding it is the prerequisite. If you don't understand it, don't invest. Then you will end up investing in something and maybe lose all your money in it. So it's very important to make sure that you understand the risk before you get into
Right.
the market, and
So
don't everything into crypto, right? So that's
so my understanding of crypto, I'll also let you know, I'm like an intermediate level, right? I've nerded out about crypto for forever, like like since Bitcoin happened. I know people who mined Bitcoin, that is as far back as I can go, in 2012, 13.
What's the difference between Bitcoin and crypto?
Yeah. Yes, I will come to that.
आप हमारे दर्शकों के लिए ये आसान सा
we will come to that, Urjita. But so I just wanted to explain my understanding is like intermediate level. So this whole thing that Ashish said about do your research, read stuff, I did that. Okay, I did that, and मेरा पैसा गया. So like अभी जो just to give you context, we'll come to that further away. Last month actually, Urjita, the second largest exchange in the world just up and vanished in thin air. Just like it turned out to be this giant ass scam, and like it was being run by like these 10 people in the Bahamas. And it just disappeared. So उसकी वजह से बहुत बड़ा crash हुआ है. And इसके पहले there was this Luna coin which also turned out to be like a shady ass scheme, and then also happened. So basically what is happening right now, and Ashish, you can correct me if I'm wrong, like people like me who did the research also lost money. I mean, like in this whole thing.
Is this feeling like that scene in Hera Fairy, in Hera Fairy, when Akshay Kumar finds Bipasha and he's like, "Ye paisa de mera."
No, Ashish मुझे पैसा नहीं चाहिए.
That's why I'm called Ashish.
So just to tell you, so आप stocks में invest करते हैं, right? Many companies have also failed in stocks. Do you stop investing in stocks? Satyam also failed, right? Satyam was a scam, right?
Yeah.
तो अभी, but let me tell you the reality, right? तो FTX में क्या हुआ? Obviously, when you invest through a centralized exchange, तो क्या होता है, जैसे आप बैंक में पैसे रखते हैं, तो बैंक आपका पैसा होल्ड करता है. अब आपको कैसे पता कि वो आपका पैसा कहीं और यूज नहीं कर रहा, वो फर्दर इन्वेस्ट नहीं कर रहा, वो स्टार्टअप के शेयर्स नहीं खरीदना और वो क्रिप्टो में नहीं डाल रहा, आपको नहीं पता. बट वो रेगुलेशंस इंश्योर करते हैं कि बैंक ये सब चीजें नहीं कर सकता. तो आप पे वो सिक्योरिटी रहती है कि अगर मैंने बैंक में डाला, ऑल्दो रिटर्न मुझे कम मिलेगा, बट मेरा पैसा सिक्योर है, राइट? बट क्रिप्टो में क्या होता है कि रेगुलेशंस बहुत कम है, राइट? यूएस में कुछ हैं, यूके में हैं, ऑस्ट्रेलिया में हैं, बट अभी भी उस एक्सटेंट के नहीं है जहां पे यूजर प्रोटेक्शन 100% हम इंश्योर कर सकते हैं, राइट? और ये यूजर प्रोटेक्शन भी ना ओवर टाइम आता है. क्रिप्टो इंडस्ट्री को सिर्फ 12 साल हुए हैं. स्टॉक इंडस्ट्री को 40-50 ईयर्स से जो स्कैम, लाइक वी हैव सीन द all a series on stock scam as well, right?
Yeah,
उसके बाद काफी
2008 financial crisis, all that. Yeah.
2008 फाइनेंशियल क्राइसिस, उसके बाद क्या होता है, रेगुलेशंस आते हैं जो कि ये प्रोटेक्ट करते हैं. Nobody can say that every company running in crypto is 100% pure and good. There are companies which are doing shady things and they will fail eventually, right? तो आप कितनी भी रिसर्च कर लें, एक प्राइवेट कंपनी के बारे में आप ज्यादा नहीं जान सकते. मुझे कैसे पता कि कल ये कंपनी नहीं डूबेगी, राइट? तो हाँ, राइट. तो FTX के साथ यही हुआ. सबको लगता था कि वो बहुत अच्छी कंपनी है. दे वर एक्चुअली डूइंग फैंटास्टिक इन द मार्केट, राइट? इफ यू लुक एट जस्ट द नंबर्स, इट वाज फिनोमिनल, right? Coinbase, which is like a 10-12 year exchange, they beat them in the volumes. Everyone just praising FTX. They were everywhere, Formula 1 to soccer to cricket, everywhere, right? So
didn't they buy a stadium also?
They did buy a stadium in Miami.
Yeah,
Miami Heat, the NBA team, right?
Right.
So now that FTX has disappeared, तो वो stadium government को जाएगा क्या? या उसको स्टेडियम को बेच के पब्लिक को उसका पैसा, नहीं ऐसा कुछ नहीं.
आई थिंक उसको रीएलोकेट करा जाएगा, कोई और बिडर आएगा who will buy out their bid, is my understanding. But coming to FTX, तो उन्होंने क्या करा, जो यूजर उन पे पैसे डालते थे क्रिप्टो खरीदने के लिए, और जब वो क्रिप्टो खरीदते थे, they reinvested that crypto into various their own trading firm called Alameda, which when the market crashed lost a lot of money. Ab now that wasn't their money, that was users money, right? And ended up causing
Ashish, we have to go back a little bit यहाँ पे. थोड़ा सा हमको और simplify करना पड़ेगा इसको. I think like looking at Urjita's face, I think it's needed. That's
right
why Urjita exists.
You're saying so many things, but all I'm here is ये gamble.
Precisely.
It's like a game of money कि अगर रानी निकली तो पैसा मिलेगा, अगर क्लोर निकला तो नहीं मिलेगा. It is just like that. Right now.
So let's go back to maybe like let's start at a very basic level, right? The first question that Urjita had asked, which is Bitcoin and crypto. What is this exactly? If you can just tell us very quickly.
तो उर्जिता, जैसे आप आज बैंक को ट्रस्ट करते हैं, say if you want to transfer money to me, right? I met you for the first time. I don't know you. You don't trust me. So you can't just hand over money to me and assume that I will give you the good that I promised. So what you'll do is you'll go to a trusted third party, maybe a bank, maybe a centralized company like a Paytm or a OLX, if I'm selling you, say, a phone or something, right? And you trust that company because that has credentials in the market, right? तो आप उसको पैसे देते हो, वो मुझको पैसे देता है, मैं उसको गुड्स देता हूँ, वो आपको प्रोवाइड करता है, राइट? सो दे एक्ट एज एन इंटरमीडिएटरी बिटवीन एन एक्सचेंज बिटवीन टू पार्टीज, यू एंड मी, राइट? लेकिन इसमें क्या दिक्कत होती है, जो हमने 2008 फाइनेंशियल क्राइसिस में देखा कि हमने बैंक को ट्रस्ट करा, बट बैंक आपका पैसा लेके भाग गए, या उन्होंने इन्वेस्ट ऐसी चीजों में.
पंजाब नेशनल बैंक क्राइसिस और इज इट?
नहीं, 2008 में जो फाइनेंशियल क्राइसिस हुआ था, जो लेमन ब्रदर्स गॉट शट डाउन, credits, not Credit Suisse, but JP Morgan, everyone, every major bank was involved in buying.
But actually just stopping you there, actually Punjab National Bank can also be a legit example of this, right? You know, like, which is basically the bank is using money somewhere where the people who are depositing the money don't know कि किसको लोन दे रहे हैं, कहाँ जा रहा है. The bank has control over it. Yeah, so go on, Ashish.
उसमें क्या हो गया कि आपको एक थर्ड पार्टी को ट्रस्ट करना है, लेकिन वो थर्ड पार्टी आपके साथ क्या करेगा, यू नेवर नो, राइट? तो इसीलिए ब्लॉकचेन बना टू सॉल्व दिस प्रॉब्लम आफ्टर द 2008 क्राइसिस, कि हाउ कैन टू पीपल exchange something between them without the need of the third party, without even trusting each other, yet through computers and code it can be validated that A and B can transfer value to each other without worrying about ever trusting a third party, right?
So
it was
hold on. So are you saying that banks used to invest in blockchain and crypto way before we had even heard about this concept?
No. So bank fails not because they invested in crypto. That was just an example that they might be doing. Right? So they invested in, say, securities, right? तो आपने वो housing market का सुना होगा, right? US में क्या हुआ था, to build up the economy, क्रेडिट बहुत ही इजीली अवेलेबल था. आप जाते थे बैंक पे, आपका कोई बैकग्राउंड चेक नहीं होता था, आपको लोन मिल जाता था. क्योंकि मैनेजर का इंसेंटिव होता था कि वो जितने लोन पे आउट कर रहा है उसका बोनस उतना ही बड़ा होगा, राइट। तो इस तरीके से लोन वो देते गए और रीपेमेंट हुआ नहीं। उन्होंने क्या करा, ये लोन बैंक्स, बड़े बड़े बैंक्स या कंपनीज को बेच दिए कि नहीं नहीं ये तो अच्छे लोन्स हैं और इसका जो रिटर्न आएगा वो आपको मिल जाएगा, राइट। पेंशन फंड सबने वो खरीद लिए कि यार लोन तो पे होता ही है, 99% चांसेस होते हैं लोन पे हो जाएगा, लेकिन वो किसी ने लोन पे नहीं करे। So the entire market crashed altogether. So that was the 2008 crisis. I'm simplifying it, though it was pretty complex.
No, actually that's a very good way to put it. So essentially what they were doing is, so loan, if you're buying a house and you're taking a loan, तो ये लोन को 10 और लोन के साथ मिक्स करके they would package it and they would sell it to someone. Then they would package more packages and then they will sell it to someone. तो essentially जब वो लोन repay नहीं हुआ तो the whole house of cards sort of came crumbling down.
ये तो blocked chain है.
Blockchain. But the concept of blockchain, what Ashish is trying to sort of explain, is essentially like, so for example, if you are thinking of a third party which is essentially validating the transaction. So तूने अगर घर खरीदा आशीष से, right? And Ashish को पैसा दे दिया, right? So and Ashish is giving you that house. Now the thing that is making you trust this transaction is I'm noting it down somewhere. Let's put it that way, in a very simple way. Register हो रहा है, वो mutation papers इधर उधर जा रहे हैं, deeds exchange हो रहे हैं. Now this central authority is the one that is making those deeds. Like, you know, validation दे रहा है, signature जा रहा है उस पे, stamp paper पे जा रहा है, etc. What the blockchain does, essentially, in a very, very simple way, is that this whole third-party system is going away. Now, 100 other people are actually looking at this transaction that is happening and saying, yes, this is correct. So if any one of those basically tries to do like fraud, saying ki nahi, I will do something shady, the other 99 people will still validate it, saying ki nahi, this guy is wrong, we are the 99 people are correct. So essentially it's like a collective registry system, if you want to put it.
So it's called quorum. Okay. When 51% of the network trust or approves your transaction, only then a transaction would be recorded and would be called a valid transaction. And now, अब ये 100 लोग नहीं है, ये probably hundreds of thousands of लोग. आप ये भी बोल सकते हो 100 ही लोग हैं यार, उन्हें रिश्वत दे दूंगा, वो मेरे फेवर में वोट कर देंगे and I can still commit a fraud, right? But अब ये हजारों लोग हैं, पूरे वर्ल्ड में फैले हुए हैं. Nobody can coordinate a vote between all of them, right? Okay. So what happens is now these votes become trustless. This become a trustless system. You don't have to trust anyone. You have to just trust the system. कि यार ये सिस्टम चलता है, ये आज तक हैक नहीं हुआ है, इसकी कॉम्प्लेक्सिटी और इसका टू कोऑर्डिनेट एंड फेक अ ट्रांजैक्शन इज नियरली इम्पॉसिबल टू डू. तो आप इस सिस्टम को ट्रस्ट करते हो, जो कि आप भी वैलिडेट, अगर आप टेक्निकल नॉलेज है आप पे तो आप उसका कोड पढ़ सकते हो, तो आप देख सकते हो क्या रूल्स अप्लाई हो रहे हैं. ऐसा नहीं है कि थर्ड पार्टी कल आपके रूल चेंज कर देगा, आपको पता भी नहीं लगेगा, बस एक ईमेल आएगा कि यू हैव ऑलरेडी एक्सेप्टेड टर्म्स एंड कंडीशन, हमने चेंज करी थी, आपकी खुद एक्सेप्ट हो गई. ऐसा नहीं होता. तो आप जाके वो देख सकते हो वहां पर कि क्या चेंज हुआ है, इसे मुझे कैसे इम्पैक्ट करता है, और आप उस सिस्टम को ट्रस्ट करते हो, आप किसी पर्सन या एंटिटी को ट्रस्ट नहीं करते. तो वो ब्लॉकचेन होता है.
Okay. So that is what the currency is built on top of.
Yes. And
it's complicated. It's complicated. I know, Urjita, it's very complicated, but like इसको और भी simple कर सकते हैं आशीष थोड़ा सा, कि like a normal consumer के लिए.
I just have one question. मैं किसका collar पकड़ूं अगर कुछ ऐसा हो जाए तो? That's all I want to know, because I mean, see, all the people that were validating the claims of this organization or whatever, if something happens to that organization, then मैं किसके पास जाऊँ? Like, because right now in India the scene is that crypto is not exactly legal, but then फिर भी उस पे टैक्स है. So अगर बेसिकली मेरा मुनाफा हुआ तो गवर्नमेंट का भी होता है, मेरा मुनाफा नहीं हुआ तो मैं ही अकेली बैठ के रोऊंगी. Right now that is the scene. So how do we like? हाँ, okay.
तो एक पे बस मैं एक आपका स्टेटमेंट करेक्ट कर देता हूँ कि ये लीगल नहीं है फिर भी टैक्स है. नहीं, ये लीगल है, ये नॉट रेगुलेटेड है. रेगुलेशन नहीं आया है, ऐसा नहीं है कि ये इलीगल है क्रिप्टो इंडिया में, राइट? तो इसीलिए टैक्सेशन है. इलीगल एक्टिविटीज पे तो टैक्स हो भी नहीं सकता. आप जेल में डाला जाएगा.
नॉट रेगुलेटेड.
हाँ, तो नॉट रेगुलेटेड मतलब जैसे कोई भी इंसान बैंक नहीं खोल सकता इंडिया में। कल आपका मन करे कि यार मैं भी बैंक खोल लेती हूँ, तो आप नहीं कर सकते, क्योंकि आपको लाइसेंस लेना पड़ता है, आपको कुछ रेगुलेशंस जो सेबी और आरबीआई इन केस ऑफ बैंक्स आपको देते हैं, आपको फॉलो करने होते हैं कि आप यूजर का फंड कैसे स्टोर करोगे, कहाँ रखोगे, किसको आप उसको इंटरेस्ट कैसे दोगे, आप उस पैसे को कैसे इन्वेस्ट कर सकते हो, क्या रिस्क ले सकते हो, क्या नहीं ले सकते, राइट? सो देयर आर दीज आर कॉल्ड रूल्स एंड these are called regulations. So a set of
Regulations,
rules
yeah.
is a regulation imposed by a authority, a government authority, right?
Okay, that.
So in India, crypto is not regulated today. So no government authority has come out and created those set of rules for a crypto
Hmm.
company or how a crypto project or a framework would work in India, right? But ये और देशों में, काफी देशों में आ गया है, कहीं मतलब ये 90% है, कहीं 50 है, कहीं 40 है, बट धीरे धीरे हर कंट्री इसको धीरे रूल्स एंड रेगुलेशंस अप्लाई कर रहा है, जिससे आप जैसे यूजर, जैसे आपका क्वेश्चन था मैं किसकी कॉलर पकड़ू, राइट? अगर से कल कोई भी बड़ी कंपनी आपका पैसे लेके भाग जाती है, तो आप क्या करते हो? आप कोर्ट जाते हो और वो कंपनी रिस्पॉन्सिबल होती है। उसी तरह क्रिप्टो में भी अगर आप डायरेक्ट क्रिप्टो आप कैसे खरीदोगे? किसी सेंट्रल एंटिटी से खरीदोगे, आप कॉइनस्विच जैसी एक्सचेंज पे आओगे, उसको पैसे दोगे, वो आपके बिहाफ पे क्रिप्टो खरीद रहा होगा, स्टोर कर रहा होगा। तो आप सिमिलरली, जैसे आप नॉर्मल अगर से पेटीएम फेल होता तो आप पेटीएम पे कंप्लेन लिखवाते, उसको कोर्ट में जाते, सिमिलरली आप कॉइनस्विच का कॉलर पकड़ोगे। बट अगर आप क्रिप्टो यूज कर रहे हो, से बिटकॉइन यूज कर रहे हो, अब बिटकॉइन का कोई ओनर नहीं है, उसमें आप सही हो, आप किसी का कॉलर नहीं पकड़ सकते। लेकिन जब आप बिटकॉइन यूज करते हो और नेटवर्क में यूज करते हो, तो वो कोड, जो अंडरलाइंग कोड है, यही उसकी ब्यूटी है कि जो वो सिस्टम है वो इसी तरह बना हुआ है कि आप में उसको किसी को ट्रस्ट ही नहीं करना है। तो कभी ये इश्यूज जो आज आते हैं ना, वो ट्रस्ट इश्यूज, वो ओवर टाइम ट्रस्ट इश्यूज ही रिजॉल्व हो जाएंगे। कल ऐसा होगा, शायद आप एक बैंक में जाएंगे, आप लोन लेने गए, आज आपको लोन तब मिलता है जब आप जानते हो बैंक मैनेजर को, तो आपको अच्छे इंटरेस्ट रेट पे दे देता है। आप कितने बड़े आदमी हो तो आपको और थोड़ा मक्खन लगा के यू वांट टू डू दिस। ब्लॉकचेन और क्रिप्टो में क्या
एयरपोर्ट
होता है?
खरीदने के लिए लोन, पोर्ट खरीदने के लिए लोन,
हाँ,
काफी।
तो ब्लॉकचेन और क्रिप्टो में क्या होगा कि ये सारे रूल्स जो अभी कोई भी इंसान बेंड कर सकता है बेस्ड ऑन हाउ ही वांट्स टू प्ले विद दोज रूल्स विल नॉट हैपन। तो जब आप बैंक में जाओगे तो आपको पता होगा कि यार ये 6 रूल अप्लाई होते हैं मुझ पे, मुझे लोन मिलेगा नहीं मिलेगा, ये 6 ही रूल करेंगे और कोई इंसान इसको चेंज नहीं कर सकता, और ये रूल ओपन है। तो कल कोई फार्मर जाता है या कोई बिलियनियर जाता है, उसको सेम रूल्स अप्लाई होते हैं, तो करप्शन जीरो हो जाएगा, क्योंकि उसको किसी को ट्रस्ट नहीं करना है, उसको बैंक मैनेजर को प्लीज नहीं करना है टू गेट अ लोन, उसको सिस्टम देखना है। सिस्टम बोलेगा कि भाई मिलेगा लोन, सिस्टम बोलेगा नहीं मिल सकता या इतने परसेंट पे मिलेगा, तो ही जस्ट हैव टू एक्सेप्ट इट, एंड दैट
So it's
ओपननेस
like,
इज व्हाट।
if I had to put it in another way, like correct me if I'm wrong, Ashish. So like for example, जैसे say let's say banks का जो regulation है, there are like these tons of laws which are sort of directing how the bank works, right? Now the parliament or the government can change those rules whenever they want, right? And then a normal person doesn't know कि the bank where they're spending money, क्या rule change हो गए, क्या बैंक मर्जर हो गया, कहाँ पे जा रहा है मेरा पैसा. Essentially we don't know, like we are not lawyers, we don't understand the law. Now think of laws, if you want to look it into an Excel sheet, एक Excel sheet पे formula लिखा है, right? And that formula is the one that is the law, right? So like whatever value is putting into that cell is that little formula there. Now if the formula changes in one way or another, like so then that sort of is alerted to the user कि इसमें कुछ change हुआ है. Is that what we are coming to right now?
Not exactly alerted, but users are aware. So मैं इसका एक और सिंपल एग्जांपल देता हूँ। हम सब रेंट हो, मतलब मे बी हमारे खुद के घर हो, बट से मैं रेंटेड हाउस में रहता हूँ, राइट? तो एक रेंट एग्रीमेंट में साइन करता हूँ, राइट? अब रेंट एग्रीमेंट में मुझे पता है रूल्स क्या है, अगले 11 महीने क्या रूल अप्लाई होगा मुझे पता है कि अगर मुझे छोड़ के जाना है कितने दिन का नोटिस देना है, अगर उसको मुझे निकालना है तो उसको कितने दिन का नोटिस देना है, उसके घर में क्या क्या चीज है, एंड एवरीथिंग इज लिस्टेड ऑन the rent agreement,
like
right?
also who will pay for the painting and who will pay for the repairs and all that.
पे होना है, कितना TDS कटेगा, सब लिखा होगा रेंट एग्रीमेंट पे। अब आपका ओनर रेंट एग्रीमेंट खुद चेंज नहीं कर सकता, उसको आके आपके साइन लेने हैं टू गेट द रेंट एग्रीमेंट चेंज्ड. So this rent
Sure.
agreement is like a contract between you and your owner. In the crypto world, these are called contracts, which are present on blockchain. जो अभी हमने बताया कि वो डिसेंट्रलाइज है, बहुत सारे लोग मिलके डिसीजन लेते हैं, राइट? तो अगर ये कॉन्ट्रैक्ट चेंज होता है तो आपको पता लग जाता है कि ये कॉन्ट्रैक्ट अब चेंज हो गया है, ये उसके नए रूल्स आए हैं, यू कैन एक्सेप्ट इट और यूज द ओल्ड कॉन्ट्रैक्ट इटसेल्फ. यू हैव अ चॉइस. तो हर
so like if I have the choice to stick to the old contract, then of course they will be showing me a carrot to like get the new contract, right? कि like old contract को अगर रखना है तो रख सकते हो, but you know new contract में आपको सोने की चेन भी मिलेगी, something. So what is the carrot that they are offering for me to even consider thinking of switching to the new contract, and what are the cons?
Sure. So देखो, contract is a open thing, right? अब आप रेंट लेने जा रहे हो, वहां पे दो घर हैं, दोनों का किसी का रेंट कम हो सकता है, किसी का ज्यादा हो सकता है, किसी का लिविंग स्पेस अच्छा है, किसी में ज्यादा रूम है. दैट इज द कैरेट. मतलब इट्स नॉट दैट दे आर ट्राइंग टू अट्रैक्ट यू, दे आर जस्ट शोइंग यू टू हाउसेस एंड you can choose what you want to, right? Nobody is saying anything about it, right? So किसी का इंसेंटिव नहीं है आपको कोई कैरेट देने का कि आप दूसरे कॉन्ट्रैक्ट पे मूव हो जाओ, नहीं. किसी का वो बस ये बता सकते हैं कि यार इस कॉन्ट्रैक्ट में ये चीजें होती हैं, इस कॉन्ट्रैक्ट में ये चीजें होती हैं, आप देखो आपके लिए क्या सही है, आपकी रिक्वायरमेंट क्या है. मुझे तो 2 ही रूम चाहिए तो मैं तो 2 BHK ही लूंगा, चाहे 3 BHK कितना भी सुंदर हो, डजंट मैटर, राइट? तो कोई आपको अट्रैक्ट नहीं कर रहा है, कोई स्कैम नहीं कर रहा है. तो ब्लॉकचेन पे दीज कॉन्ट्रैक्ट्स आर बिल्ट टू हेल्प पीपल एंड पीपल कैन चूज व्हाटएवर दे वांट, राइट? से टू गिव यू एन एग्जांपल, आज फेसबुक कैसा कुछ भी नया रूल ला सकता है कि आपकी जो फोटोज है ना वो फेसबुक को ही बिलोंग करती हैं, आप वो फेसबुक की फोटो ट्विटर पे यूज नहीं कर सकते. लेट्स अज्यूम, राइट? वी आर जस्ट अज्यूमिंग. So you have no choice but to accept it or stop using Facebook.
Okay.
Right? But
true. Like Instagram is changing so many reels ke whatever rules all the time, and users have no choice but to accept it, right? You know, like the timeline is now with like random people showing up, like your friends and family to bhul hi jao, koi to bhi random reel chal raha hai wahan pe. We can't do anything about it because Facebook is making the rules here.
तो द बेस्ट पार्ट अबाउट ब्लॉकचेन है, ये जो कॉन्ट्रैक्ट होता है, ये जो प्लेटफॉर्म होता है, इज नॉट ओन्ड बाय अ सिंगल पर्सन. तो मैं कल जाके अपने रूल्स नहीं चला सकता. मैं ये नहीं बोल सकता कि भाई नहीं इसको चेंज कर दो, मुझे रेवेन्यू नहीं आ रहा, स्टार्ट चार्जिंग $8 फॉर अ ब्लू टिक. आई कांट डू दैट, राइट?
दुखती रग पर
ये जो कॉन्ट्रैक्ट है ब्लॉकचेन को बिलोंग करते हैं. यू कैन क्रिएट अ न्यू कॉन्ट्रैक्ट, पीपल कैन स्टिल चूज व्हाट दे वांट टू. People have their entire authority over what data they give, what data they don't want to give. And this is not managed by a single person. It is managed by thousands of people across the world who has to come to a consensus to change something, right? So it is called a community-based company where a single person is not taking decision. It's a community which is deciding what is right for us, rather than saying what is right for one person or one's bottom's line to make revenue or make it profitable or do whatever growth or whatever their charter is, right?
I'm sure Urjita has more burning questions, as do I. We have to still talk about whether crypto will survive or not now that we have understood what is crypto. But after we come back, Urjita has more questions and we are going to talk about the FTX disaster after this break.
Hey everyone, it's been another great week on the IVM Podcast Network. Attention please! Your favorite finance podcast is getting bigger and better. For all you loyal listeners, we present you Club Paisa Vaisa. What's special? Well, get the latest episodes 3 days before release, content that is ad-free, bonus content and access to the full show archive. So get your yearly membership today for only ₹6.99. Log on to club.ivmpodcast.com/paisavesa. On The Habit Coach, Ashton is joined by Sarah Rose D'Angelo, a business coach and mentor. She educates women on how to ignite new levels of prosperity, pleasure, purpose, and passion for life. On Anish Thing, Anish talks to Sangeeta Iyer, nutritionist and founder of Rewrite My Story. The duo discusses animal-based ketogenic diets and its benefits. In the second season of Capgemini's Techipedia series, Sheila Aditya is joined by Atul Kurani, VP at Global Health Medical Practice, and Ayan Chaudhary, VP Imaging System Software, to talk about the digital healthcare space, telehealth, and more. And on the 50th episode of Think Fast, Varun and Suchita discuss HUL's acquisition, Indian beauty market, and e-commerce giant Amazon's experimental move. Once again, do not forget to visit our merch store on ivmpodcast.com. We have got some super cool and exciting stuff over there for you and your loved ones. Follow us on social media. We are at IVM Podcast on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. If you like our shows, do spread the word. You know, it really helps us a lot. And of course, do not forget to rate and review our shows wherever you are listening to them. You can also find all our video shows on youtube.com/IVM Podcasts. And finally, we would like to thank our sponsors this week, Kotak Privy League Program, Capgemini, and HDFC Mutual Fund. Thank you so much for making this possible.
Hello and welcome to Explain Like I'm 10. Today we are asking the burning question, will cryptocurrency survive? And we are back with Ashish Singhal, who is the CEO of Coinswitch Kuber, and Urjita Wani, who is a cryptocurrency noob and comedian, and she has a burning question. Urjita, go on.
I think we were discussing what is the difference between crypto and blockchain. And from what I've understood, crypto is the basically the currency, coins वगैरह जो हम खरीदते हैं. And I wanted to know blockchain कैसे खरीदते हैं. Like, so if I log into the, let's say, Coin DCX app, this is no promotion, but if I log into that app, तो मुझे वो option अलग-अलग दिखेंगे, or is it, I don't know, you explain.
So, आप ब्लॉकचेन नहीं खरीद सकते. आप सिर्फ ब्लॉकचेन बना सकते हो. ब्लॉकचेन खरीदा नहीं जा सकता. So blockchain is like a system. Like आप गवर्नमेंट नहीं खरीद सकते, but आप who you elect, you can vote for him, right? So it's like that. You can't buy.
I was wondering if you are going to say कि जो वो election में लड़ रहे हो उसको आप खरीद सकते हो. But like, okay, go on. Sorry.
खरीद सकते हो ना वो भी. Oh sorry, was I not supposed to say that?
Go on.
Yeah. So आप ब्लॉकचेन नहीं खरीद सकते. ब्लॉकचेन एक टोकन इशू करता है, जैसे मैंने बताया कि पेन. अब हर एक का पेन अलग है. कोई ब्लॉकचेन से एक इंक पेन दे रहा है आपको लिखने के लिए, कोई ब्लॉकचेन जेल पेन दे रहा है आपको लिखने के लिए. तो सबके टोकन्स अलग होते हैं. These tokens are cryptos. So you can buy these tokens, use it on the blockchain, specific blockchain. It's not interconnected कि आपने एक ब्लॉकचेन का टोकन खरीदा दूसरे पे यूज कर लिया. ऐसा भी नहीं चलता है, राइट? तो आप उस ब्लॉकचेन का टोकन खरीदते हो, which is crypto. उस ब्लॉकचेन पे आप यूज कर सकते हो, या फिर सिर्फ खरीद के रख सकते हो अपने पास, क्योंकि आपको भरोसा है कि ये ब्लॉकचेन अच्छा करेगा, ये जो प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व कर रहा है वो अच्छी है, और आपका इन्वेस्टमेंट वैल्यू विल कीप ऑन ग्रोइंग, एंड दैट्स व्हाई यू बाय दैट क्रिप्टो.
You know, it's let's put it this way, you can't buy a set of rules, but you can buy a store of value. So what currency essentially is, it's a store of value, right? Like the note that I have in my pocket, I believe it's worth 500 rupees. Therefore, it's worth 500 rupees. Like the RBI says it's worth 500 rupees. So it's a store of value. So like अगर मुझे 500 रुपए का कुछ भी जाके खरीदना होगा तो that note will be accepted because everybody involved in this whole system believes that it is worth 500. So everybody in the system sort of believes that let's say Bitcoin is worth whatever it is right now, right? And it keeps going up and down. The rules though, which is like the RBI's printing mechanism, कि rupee print करेंगे, note का ये ऐसा होगा, वैसा होगा, rules, whatever, those I can't buy or change myself.
Is it like buying stocks or shares?
Exactly.
It is a little bit like buying stocks, yes. Yes.
Okay.
So it's, to be honest, exactly like buying stocks. If you don't want to use that stock. Stock doesn't give you a voting power. In some cases it does. But in blockchain, that power comes, that is a higher power that you get if you own a stock token on that. So it's like a stock itself. So you can buy for investment. Also, you can use it as your vote on the blockchain.
Okay, right. So if I were to invest like let's say 50,000, I don't know, I'm just like शायद ये काफी कम है amount या ज़्यादा, I don't know crypto का thing. But if I invest my 50,000 in a blockchain, and then
buy a token essentially.
I'm buying a token, and if I am the highest bidder. What if like मेरा 90 अभी suddenly 65% stake हो गया in that blockchain with that 50,000? So then do
Sure.
I have a say in what happens?
तो उसके भी रूल्स एंड रेगुलेशंस होते हैं. अब आई
Okay.
डोंट वांट टू गेट इनटू प्रूफ ऑफ वर्क एंड प्रूफ ऑफ स्टेक. आई थिंक वो थोड़ा सा
I
ज्यादा हो
was
जाएगा.
just, yeah.
तो
Yeah.
मैं बिल्कुल सिंपल समझा देता हूँ कि इसमें क्या होता है कि आप जितना ओन, जैसे अब मार्क जुकरबर्ग owns less of shares, but he has higher voting power in what goes into Facebook, right? So it is like a voting power. अब there are set of rules in that as well, which are open to everyone on every blockchain. यार आप चाहे 70% भी ओन कर लो, आपकी पावर इज लिमिटेड बिकॉज इट इज अ डेमोक्रेटाइज्ड सिस्टम. तो चाहे आप पे 75% ऑफ टोकन भी होंगे, उसकी पावर डिफाइंड होगी ऑलरेडी ब्लॉकचेन पे. Most of the
Okay.
blockchains are very open about it and will tell you कि यार no matter what your share is, your voice will not be louder. It will be equal to a person even who's holding 1 ether or say 100 ether, right? So,
Okay.
so it is defined and it's open for all to see.
Okay.
So the blockchain, it depends on the blockchain rules, right? That is what happens. I wanted to move on to the what happened with FTX, right? So okay, so first let's explain to people what a crypto exchange is, which Coinswitch is, right? So Ashish, if you can just quickly take us through what Coinswitch does in general in this whole system.
Sure. So Coinswitch is a bit different. It's not an exchange. So let me first let me tell you what an exchange is, right? So FTX was an exchange. Exchange क्या करता है? Exchange is not built on blockchain, right? Most of it. This is called centralized exchanges. And I'm only explaining centralized exchanges. तो exchange क्या होता है कि आप पे बिटकॉइन है, आपने माइन करे, आपको गिफ्ट मिले, जो भी था, आप उस exchange पे गए बेचने के लिए. आपने कहा कि यार ये मैं 1 बिटकॉइन 1 लाख रुपीस का बेचना चाहता हूँ. कोई और यूजर आया, उसने बोला हाँ मुझ पे 1 लाख रुपए हैं और मैं खरीदना चाहता हूँ. तो exchange what it does is it matches just 2 people.
Okay.
सिमिलर टू अ स्टॉक मार्केट, जैसे एनएससी बीएससी चलता है. जैसे वहां पर एक बायर आता है, एक सेलर आता है. एनएससी का काम है सिर्फ दोनों को मिलाना, नथिंग एल्स. इट डजंट डिटरमाइन प्राइस, इट डजंट डू एनीथिंग, इट जस्ट मैचेस 2 people, a buyer and a seller, and that's how a price is determined in the ecosystem, right? Coinswitch is a bit different. Coinswitch is an exchange aggregator. So हमें क्या प्रॉब्लम दिखी 5 साल पहले कि एक्सचेंज तो बहुत सारे थे. अब उस पे क्या होता था, एक बंदा आके 1 लाख रुपए का बेच रहा है, एक 1.5 लाख रुपए का बेच रहा है. तो प्राइस डिफरेंस रहता था दोनों में कि एक जगह बिटकॉइन की वैल्यू 1 लाख आ रही है, एक जगह 1,10,000 आ रही है. तो हमने कहा कि हम एग्रीगेट करेंगे, जैसा मेक माई ट्रिप होता है. आपको हर फ्लाइट पे नहीं देखना होता कि यार कौन सा सस्ता है, कौन सा मेरे टाइम को मैच कर रहा है. वो हर जगह एग्रीगेट करके इन्फॉर्मेशन दिखा देता है. तो हमने कॉइनस्विच कुबेर को उसी तरह बनाया. हमने सारी एक्सचेंज से पार्टनर करा और हमने एक सिंपल इंटरफेस बना दिया कि यार 1 क्लिक में आप बेस्ट प्राइस पे बाय सेल कर सकते हो. एज अ यूजर आपको नहीं सोचना कि यार मैं 6 एक्सचेंजेस पे जाके पहले प्राइस चेक करूं, फिर देखूं किस पे बेटर है, फिर उस पर अकाउंट बनाऊं, फिर बाय करूं. तो हमने ये प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व करने के लिए कॉइनस्विच कुबेर को बनाया.
Okay, so it's like an exchange of exchange. Like, you know, NDTV does this NDTV does this during elections, Urjita. So like whenever exit polls happen, so there are these other channels which invest a lot of money sampling करते हैं. 7 लाख वोटर का सैंपल होता है. Like they would figure out कि कौन सा पार्टी आने वाला है, नहीं आने वाला. NDTV does something clever. They are like सब चैनल का देखेंगे हम और उसको एग्रीगेट करके सबके दिखा देंगे कि फिर तो अब नाउ यू डिसाइड कौन सा जीत रहा है, कौन सा नहीं जीत रहा है. So it's called the poll of polls. So Coinswitch is like the exchange of exchanges, I guess. It's like an aggregator. So Ashish, I wanted to sort of explain a little bit about what happened with FTX also. So now that we know that I'm not going to refer to Coinswitch as an exchange per se, but aggregator, let's say.
Yes.
Is that the correct way to put it?
That is the right way to say.
Yeah, okay. Now Urjita, FTX के साथ बहुत मजा आया. So हुआ क्या? There were 10 people who were like in their late 20s, etc. They were a polycule, polyamorous setting था वहाँ पे. These 10 people decided to start a crypto exchange. And there was this guy called Sam Bankman-Fried, right? Now, he essentially presented himself as the youngest billionaire and the most generous billionaire, and he did like this giant propaganda and PR of being like the most brilliant person, genius out there, right? So everybody started trusting him and his exchange. And these 10 people who were sitting in the Bahamas, they also ran another entity called Alameda Research. Now, Alameda Research is a trading company. Now, what they did was they took money from FTX, logo ka money, they gave it to Alameda, and Alameda started spending it wherever. And now what happened is that last month it all collapsed because their rival exchange, which is Binance, the guy called them out saying कि तुम्हारा ये जो house of cards बना हुआ है वो पूरा fake है, and people started withdrawing money massively, and then the entire thing just vanished. So like now what is happening is that there are like these very weird things coming out, which is like this Sam Bankman-Fried paid money to the Democratic Party and Republican Party to make regulations according to what they want in the US. Then there was this another bizarre sort of tangent, which was they created their own token on their blockchain, and that token was basically just a sheet of paper which they were saying, oh, iska ye value hai, and people were buying that, right? But then when the exchange collapsed, that just became a sheet of paper, so the money completely vanished. So there are like cases like these that have been happening in the crypto world, lot of them. Like Luna Coin is one. There is another complicated big mess there. Bunch of them have happened. So my genuine question here, Ashish, would be, how does a person like me or Urjita protect ourselves from something like this?
Sure. तो पहले मैं कुछ चीजें करेक्ट कर देता हूँ, राइट? क्योंकि जब हम स्टोरी किसी के बारे में बताते हैं तो उसमें बहुत मिर्च मसाला लग चुका होता है ऑलरेडी before it reaches the retail user, right? And it's no way of that I'm saying that I'm in favor of SBF. In short, Sam was called SBF, Sam Bankman-Fried. What he did was completely wrong, and it's not acceptable at all. But मैं कुछ चीजें करेक्ट कर देता हूँ जो मेरी इंफॉर्मेशन में है, जो आपने भी बोला, वो मुझे थोड़ा सा मिस रिप्रेजेंटेशन लगा, तो मैं वो बता देता, राइट? तो जैसे आपने बोला कि 10 लोग चलाते थे इस कंपनी को, वो ट्रू नहीं था. आई थिंक दे वर हैड अराउंड 200 एम्प्लॉइज. There were 10 key employees that were running it. There are many stories which are unbacked, so we shouldn't judge them based on that.
We shouldn't character assassinate like this, is what it Okay, go on. Sorry.
I just heard polyamory and I was like, oh wow, ये अजीब ही, मतलब और कितने factors हैं यहाँ पे. Is this what's happening?
Yeah. Second, that he created a propaganda that he's a billionaire and all, which I believe is incorrect as well. He didn't create that. He built his exchange, hopefully with a goodwill of creating a big business itself. And that company was valued at 32 billion. Through that, he was a billionaire because he was the majority stakeholder. So he didn't lie about being a billionaire to get people's investment, I believe. And that is an incorrect statement. According to me. Lastly is lobbying is a standard process in US. I obviously do not understand the nuances of it. He might have donated to obviously take favors and all those things, but I am not 100%, I don't have enough knowledge to say whether that is right or wrong, because lobbying is a standard process in the US, right? So having said that, I just want to say I don't agree with what has happened. I really, we all looked up to that company because that company was doing amazing, and we all felt like they're actually doing real things. But what was happening behind what you talked about Alameda was absolutely right with the information that is coming out, is that a user would go to FTX to buy, say, Bitcoin. Now they would use that Bitcoin to give it to Alameda to do proprietary trading, to take bets whether Bitcoin would go up or down, and to earn more money from that, rather than protecting users' investment of Bitcoin. What he gave, who trusted FTX, gave his hard-earned money. Their job was to keep that Bitcoin in a safe locker and not use it until user wants to use it, right? But what they did is, they took it out from a locker, they gave it to someone, one of their own companies, and that company took risky bets on that user holding, which was completely unacceptable, unethical, and unlawful activity, right? And because the market crashed, their bets turned out to be wrong, and all the user money was lost. When users tried to withdraw that money, they didn't had because they already lost it, and that's how the entire collapse of FTX happened.
That's fair enough, Ashish. So, like so my understanding of the story came from obviously like a bunch of reports
Yeah.
that I read. Honestly speaking, right?
Yes,
Like
yes.
obviously
And they
New
might be
York
true
Times
as
has
well.
been.
I'm just saying
Yeah,
that what facts I know, I can only tell my facts.
yeah, but the basic point यहाँ पे is that the guy and his basically people, the 10 people who were there, the key employees as you call them, they did this whole thing about not protecting people's actual money and using it for something that they wanted to use, right? Which is
Yes.
trading in the market, risky bets. Also, they paid a lot of influencers to essentially do like this
Yes.
whole Sam Bankman-Fried ka thing. Also,
Yes.
that is also like something that has come out,
Absolutely.
right?
Yes.
So again, like a question being now that how do we protect ourselves from something like this happening, say in India or wherever we are putting our money?
So I think FTX fiasco was good and bad at the same time. It was bad because the entire trust on the crypto market kind of got lost from the retail
Yes.
users. They're like, यार ये इतनी बड़ी exchange के साथ हो सकता है तो किसी के भी साथ हो सकता है, right? Who do I trust? The question that exactly you are asking, right? But इसका actually एक good impact भी हुआ. Now everyone has to come out and show that they are not doing these bad things. It kind of created a precedence कि now every company need to adhere to. Every company needs to come out and say कि यार हम कुछ shady नहीं कर रहे, right? आप
Okay.
देखो
So
ये
like they
stock
have
market.
to reveal कि अगर lobbying कर भी रहे तो फिर कर रहे कि नहीं. That is what they
मतलब
have to
लॉबिंग
do.
इंडिया में तो होती ही नहीं है तो because that's illegal in India. But
I mean,
ये कि आप यूजर का फंड यूज कर रहे हो क्या कुछ shady काम करने के लिए, वो आप सबको
हाँ.
रिवील
वैसे
करो.
हाँ.
So like they have
Right?
to also reveal all the places where they have invested your
Yes.
money in. Okay.
डेट
Nice.
कितना लिया है, आपने अपना टोकन देख अपना कोई टोकन जनरेट कर लिया है रैंडमली, मतलब ये सब आपको अभी दिखाना है, राइट? दिस कॉल्ड प्रूफ ऑफ रिजर्व्स, राइट? अभी इसको देखते हैं स्टॉक मार्केट में कैसे इक्वेट होता है, राइट? स्टॉक मार्केट में एक कंपनी बोल सकती है कि यार हम तो हंड्रेड्स ऑफ मिलियंस ऑफ डॉलर्स कमाते हैं, लेकिन अल्टीमेटली क्या होता है, एक ऑडिटर रिपोर्ट चाहिए होती है, एक थर्ड पार्टी आता है, कहता है कि भाई जो तुम बोलते हो क्या वो सही भी है, लेट मी ऑडिट ऑल योर बुक्स, राइट? वरना तो कोई भी इन्वेस्टर अगर इतना अच्छा कोई कंपनी कर रही है, एवरी रिटेल इन्वेस्टर विल गो एंड इन्वेस्ट इन दैट स्टॉक. तो ऑडिटर आता है, पूरा चेक करता है उनकी बुक्स, वैलिडेट करता है और फिर एक ऑडिटेड रिपोर्ट निकालता है बाहर जो कि रियलिटी बताता है. तो वो अगर 100 मिलियन बोल रहा है और कर भी 100 मिलियन रहा है तो ऑब्वियसली स्टॉक ऊपर जाएगा क्योंकि लोग कहेंगे ओके ये तो सक्सेसफुल कंपनी है, मैं इसका स्टॉक खरीदता हूँ, एंड इट राइटली गोज अप. बट अगर उसने कोई झूठ बोला होता है तो वो ऑडिटर पकड़ लेता है, बिकॉज ऑडिटर का खुद का खुद की जो रेपुटेशन है वो उस रिपोर्ट पे रखती है, वो भी झूठ बोल सकता है, राइट? हमने देखा सत्यम भी ऑडिटेड फाइनेंशियल्स ही देता था.
Yes.
PwC
Of course,
ने ही उसको ऑडिट करा
everything
था.
can be, if it's a person at the end of your checking,
Can be
then
fake.
that person can be bought.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. But if you buy that person, we have seen what has happened to PwC since the Satyam scam, right? They've been barred for doing a lot of things. They took a very big hit in the market itself, right? तो कोई भी ऑडिटर अपना नाम बस पैसों के लिए नहीं दे सकता क्योंकि वो लॉन्ग टर्म के लिए यहाँ प्ले कर रहा है. लोगों की रेपुटेशन इसमें लगी होती है, एंड दैट्स व्हाई मैं ये नहीं कह रहा हूँ कि स्कैम जीरो होते हैं स्टॉक मार्केट में, वहां भी होते हैं, राइट? बट वो इतने लिमिटेड हो जाते हैं बिकॉज आपको अभी प्रूफ्स देने होते हैं ऑडिटर को. कितने ऑडिटर को आप खरीदोगे, राइट? तो ये स्कैम्स ओवर द ईयर्स आपने देखा होगा काफी कम हो गए हैं स्टॉक मार्केट में, बट क्रिप्टो में अभी वो ज्यादा लगते हैं बिकॉज अभी कोई ये करता ही नहीं था, अभी ये स्टैंडर्ड प्रैक्टिस थी ही नहीं. नोबडी वाज इवन केयरिंग एंड यू वुड सी एक्सचेंजेस डूइंग दिस ऑल द टाइम, राइट? तो अब ये प्रूफ ऑफ रिजर्व कहते हैं इसको, कि आप पे जो है, जो आप बोलते हो आप पे है, कि आप पे एक्चुअली है, कि आपका मिस यूटिलाइजेशन सही तरीके से कर रहे हो, कुछ मिसयूज नहीं कर रहे हो. जैसे कॉइनस्विच ने भी अपनी रिव्यूड रिपोर्ट निकाली है थ्रू वन ऑफ द बिगेस्ट सीएज इन इंडिया, प्रमोद जैन, जिन्होंने सर्टिफाई करा है कि हमारी एक्सचेंज पे ऐसा कुछ नहीं होता है, जितना यूजर का बैलेंस है उतना ही हमारे पास है, हम पे कोई डेट नहीं है, हमारे सारे एसेट यूजर के एसेट से ज्यादा हैं, तो हम पे सब सिक्योर है. अब दिस विल क्रिएट
So essentially, So essentially, what you're trying to say is that this whole thing sort of is a good thing in a way that everybody got scared, like all exchanges, aggregators, etc., got scared. All the companies and firms involved in this, and suddenly they were like, "Oh no, wait! I'll show you my books voluntarily now because please trust me, I'm not like that."
But
So,
सारी private
how
companies,
long is this going to last for?
yeah.
what is going to last for? Sorry.
No, as in like this whole transparency, like which is
Like,
happening
So
now
ideally, it's a
because
repeated
basically,
process.
in the grand scheme of things,
Hmm.
डर का माहौल is constant. It is a variable. Sorry, it is constant, and या तो वो तुम्हारे पास होगा या तो हमारे पास, as in like the crypto people or us. So as of now, you guys are the ones who have to like worry कि oh नहीं these are my books. But then how long until it gets transferred back?
नहीं, तो I think it's happening the other way. Today users are worried. इसलिए हमें ये सारे स्टेप्स लेने पड़े ना, क्योंकि आप डरे हुए हो, आपको लग रहा है कि यार मैं किसको ट्रस्ट करूं, मैं कहाँ जाऊं, राइट? तो एक्सचेंजेस यार हम आते हैं बाहर, हम अपनी बुक्स दिखाते हैं, हमने कुछ गलत नहीं किया तो हमें बुक्स दिखाने में क्या डर है किसी से? हमने अपनी बुक्स दिखाई तो यूजर को ट्रस्ट आएगा, राइट? अब मैं ये भी नहीं कह रहा हूँ कि जो भी प्रूफ ऑफ रिजर्व के साथ आएगा वो सब सही है, क्योंकि जैसे हमने से सत्यम का एग्जांपल लिया, राइट? ऐसा कोई क्रिप्टो में भी हो सकता है, किसी ने पैसे दिए हों या व्हाटएवर, राइट, थ्रू रॉन्ग डूइंग्स कैन प्रोड्यूस दैट रिपोर्ट, बट एक ऑडिटर को और एक रिव्यूअर को अपना स्टैंप डालना है उस पे, which is very hard to buy if you go to credible people to put their stamp on something, right? So these will reduce. I'm not saying that it will go to zero, but it will reduce drastically when more people become open in this industry.
So यहाँ पे I have two questions, Ashish, and this is basically comes down to the basic thing that you explained in the first half as well, right? Which is now there is this entire system that we have sort of experienced now, blockchain, उसके ऊपर token है. So यहाँ पे you don't need one entity or person to validate all of this thing, right? Yes. But now you are going to traditional auditors to basically do the same thing which is supposed to be prevented by this system. So aren't we just becoming the same thing, the financial system that was already there? If we are bringing in the people who were doing the same thing in the financial system in the crypto market, isn't it now the same thing?
Amazing
what would you say to that?
And this has been called in the FTX fiasco कि यार ये तो वही हुआ जो 2008 में हमने प्रिवेंट करने के लिए
exactly yeah
सेम रिपीट हो रहा है, तो क्या पॉइंट हुआ क्रिप्टो का? तो सबसे पहली बात हमें समझनी है, जैसे मैंने अपने पहले स्टेटमेंट में बोला था कि मैं जो अभी बोल रहा हूँ वो सेंट्रलाइज एक्सचेंजेस के बारे में बोल रहा हूँ, राइट? सेंट्रलाइज एक्सचेंजेस ब्लॉकचेन पे नहीं चलती हैं, वो नॉर्मल कंपनीज है, वो वेब2 कंपनीज है, राइट? तो उनमें जो पहले होता था वो अभी भी हो रहा है, राइट? तो FTX वाज आल्सो अ सेंट्रलाइज कंपनी, तो जो पहले लेमन ब्रदर के साथ हुआ वो FTX के साथ भी हो गया, राइट? अब होता है, अब एक फैक्टर आता है डिसेंट्रलाइज एक्सचेंजेस, जिसमें जो आप बोल रहे हैं वो वैलिडेट होता है ब्लॉकचेन पे, राइट? उसमें क्या होता है कि अगर आप कुछ बाय करते हो, कुछ सेल करते हो, अब उसका पूरा कॉन्ट्रैक्ट ब्लॉकचेन पे पड़ा है, कोई भी रीड कर सकता है, एट एनी टाइम दे कैन वैलिडेट कि भाई इस पे कितना पैसा है, ये पैसा कहाँ रखा हुआ है, इस पैसे को कौन यूज कर रहा है, कैसे यूज कर रहा है, सब ओपन है उसके बारे में, राइट? बट आप पूछोगे कि यार फिर लोग वो क्यों नहीं यूज करते, वो कॉइनस्विच क्यों यूज करते हैं, राइट? या राइट, दैट्स अ सिंपल क्वेश्चन. तो उस अभी क्या है, वो जो डिसेंट्रलाइज एक्सचेंजेस में अपनी कुछ प्रॉब्लम्स है, क्योंकि अभी वो कोड ओपन है, तो उसकी वजह से थोड़े नुआंसेस भी आते हैं कि अगर मुझे पता है कोड ओपन है तो मैं उसमें कोई वनरेबिलिटी फाइंड करके उसको हैक भी कर सकता हूँ, राइट? सेंट्रलाइज एक्सचेंजेस का कोड सेंट्रल है, वो प्रोटेक्शन ले रहे हैं, सिक्योरिटी डाल रहे हैं, बट वो ओपन नहीं है हैकर्स के लिए कि वो रीड करके वनरेबिलिटी फाइंड करें और हैक कर लें, राइट? क्योंकि ये सिस्टम अभी इवॉल्व हो रहा है. तो डिसेंट्रलाइज एक्सचेंजेस, मैं ये नहीं कह रहा हूँ कि डिसेंट्रलाइज एक्सचेंजेस बैड हैं, एक्चुअली दे आर वेरी गुड इन ट्रांसपेरेंसी.
Do they exist now? Like, are there decentralized exchanges?
Yes, there are many decentralized exchanges which exist, but there are two problems to it. One is, again, the hacking part. I think in the last year, over billions of dollars have been stolen from them because of these vulnerabilities, and the system need to evolve. And they are improving day by day. Hopefully, one day would come where a lot of our ecosystem will become decentralized. So, जो मैं आज audit की बात कर रहा हूँ, कल में भी शायद Coinswitch का वो audit decentralized होगा.
Right.
किसी पे तो हम एज अ कंपनी शायद डिसेंट्रलाइज ब्लॉकचेन पे ना हो, बट पार्ट ऑफ आवर इकोसिस्टम व्हिच इज क्रिटिकल फॉर आवर यूजर्स टू गेट ट्रांसपेरेंसी बिकम वेरी ओपन टू एवरीवन टू सी बिकॉज़ इट्स ऑन ब्लॉकचेन, राइट? तो
Fair enough.
डिसेंट्रलाइजेशन का मतलब ये नहीं होता है कि पूरी कंपनी को ब्लॉकचेन पे होना है. उसका मतलब होता है कि यार की कंपोनेंट्स which needs to be transparent with the user, needs, which doesn't require trust, that you trust me what I am saying, you trust the code, you trust blockchain on what I am saying, right? So वो वाले पार्ट्स slowly will start to move toward decentralization. अभी वो इतना
Okay.
मैच्योर नहीं हुआ है, बट धीरे धीरे उम्मीद यही है कि अगले 4 से 5 साल में वो इतना मैच्योर हो जाएगा कि हर कंपनी उसको यूज करने लगेगी.
Okay. So that is the ultimate goal. Ki, like, if everybody is using it, then they are basically legitimizing it.
Yes,
So,
exactly.
and
Yeah.
yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Interesting. And okay, so one final question I have for you, Ashish, about regulation. So now, Urjita, one more development is happening as we speak. So tomorrow, December 1st, India is launching e-rupee. It is our own digital currency, which is basically, it's called e-rupee. I don't know, they haven't given any details as yet whether it's a blockchain based thing or what is it exactly. Ashish, do you have more details about that?
So earlier I heard it was on blockchain, but now I've been hearing that probably they are moving away from blockchain. So I'm not 100%
Yeah.
sure. We'll come back to, yeah.
Like, because the announcement I saw from the RBI, it has no such details. What it says is that there will be some partnering banks which will let you use this e-currency, and then you can just use it like you do currency essentially. That is what the point is. But my question is a little larger. So we were talking about regulations, right? Where, so this whole ecosystem of cryptocurrency is pretty much wild west right now. Like, कोई भी कुछ भी कर रहा है, कहीं भी चल रहा है अभी, right? And now we are talking about regulation, which is government. Yeah.
I would just like to interrupt you here because you already mentioned the point of wild west, कोई भी कुछ भी कर रहा है. तो मुझे बस ये पूछना था that basically if I'm investing right now, is my best bet to get like to sell my cryptocurrencies as soon as possible? Like, if there is a as soon as I see some profits, should I just sell it off because you don't know market में कुछ भी हो सकता है?
मैंने तो खरीदा. I mean, honestly, I'm telling you, like, I'm buying the dip. अभी जो गिरा ना market, तो the usual mentality of traders is that market गिरा, जितना गंदा गिरा, तो जब नीचे होता है ना, तब खरीदते हैं लोग बहुत ज़्यादा. So that I'm buying, honestly, but I don't know what other people are doing. But I'm just buying Bitcoin now. I'm not touching any other cryptocurrency or any other token.
Urjita, it's also about your belief in the system. I feel that your belief in the system, it's low. So probably that's a right strategy for you to sell out and learn. And if you believe, then come back one day, right? Because
so
it's not a short.
Ashish, so like, personally speaking, I genuinely believe in this system, right? Like, I've been following it for a while. I see good in it. I see good that, as a decentralized finance, it can be good. Like, the way you are talking about it, the way people talk about it, about how no entity will control it and everybody will be democratically having a right to set the rules, right? Sounds great to me. And I do buy into that idea. I do like it. So, I mean, I do want to, like, maybe see where it goes. So I am believing in it. So I'll putting some money into it. जो भी होता है देख लेंगे. अभी तो YOLO है basically.
But Meghnad, like, here I want to ask you. You are thinking that अब तक किसी का कुछ भी, everybody has a say in it. That's why you're investing in it. What if the governments get like deeply involved in it? Will you then pull back?
That's what my question was going to be, actually, Urjita. That, like, my belief in this whole system completely depends on the fact that the government is out of it. I mean, to be perfectly honest, right? I dream about a day where finances are not controlled by an entity which is like a government. So, wahan pe, Ashish, I wanted to come to you with this question, right? Where do you stand on regulation? Where should the government come in? How much should it come in?
Sure. So I think obviously this varies and over time based on the developments on the crypto ecosystem, because it's evolving ecosystem, right?
Yeah.
I believe that people who are buying, selling crypto for investment purposes should be regulated, right? Like a stock market, so that the activities that we have seen with FTX do not happen ever again.
Fair.
Right? They need to have KYC norms. They need to ensure travel rules so that crypto cannot be taken out from a platform and used for nefarious activities, money laundering, terror financing. Nothing can happen on those systems. So those are very, very important to protect. But once as a user, you have acquired your crypto, right? Then you should be allowed to use the decentralized ecosystems that you interact with. Although it creates a chain, because you say bought it on Coinswitch, now there is a chain because KYC, you have we have your KYC
Yeah.
on our, and whatever you use can be then figured out that what activities you did on the blockchain. I think the jury is still out there. How should that be treated? Does the right of privacy applies to the decentralized networks or not, right? So I think, I, to be honest, don't have the solution yet. I see the good
Yeah.
parts and I also see the bad parts being in this space for over 9 years now. I personally feel that there has to be a balance that need to be maintained between the
Yeah.
both. You can't have 100% anonymity, and you can't have 100% of KYC at every single place that you do. So there has to be a balance that need to be maintained, and I think over time, hopefully, we solve that together. Like
Yeah.
we
And
we as
of course,
government and
so
the user.
Ashish, you're running an exchange, and of course, you're talking to governments also. So you have to be
Yes.
also very balanced in that way as well, where your business needs to survive, right? And also, you need to have like a careful view on regulations as well, because obviously you have to work with the government. As someone who does not have any sort of stake in this, I don't run a crypto business or whatever. I genuinely believe that the government should not be involved, right? Whenever I see this whole regulation thing come in, just to give you an idea, like the whole don't use cash movement, right? Don't use cash. I love cash, right? Like now, cash gives me anonymity. Cash lets me do whatever I want. I can buy, let's say, tobacco, or I can buy like a furniture, or I can buy, what is it your business? मैंने कमाया है, मेरा कैश है, मैं यूज कर रहा हूँ, right?
Yeah.
Now the government comes in saying कि नहीं, but तू तो ड्रग्स खरीद रहा होगा, तू तो ड्रग्स ले रहा होगा, तो इसीलिए मेरे को प्रॉब्लम है, and you're like और टैक्स इवेड कर रहा होगा, you're hiding it in your cupboard and not paying tax on it. That is where the government comes in, where they're like हमको पैसा नहीं मिल रहा है basically इसमें से,
Yeah,
right?
that is their only concern कि हमको मेरे
हाँ.
मेरे मेरे मुझे चाहिए पैसा.
Exactly. मैं टैक्स नहीं कर पा रहा हूँ, right?
Yeah.
So a personal belief, again, Ashish, I'm not going to take a comment on this, I'm just giving my personal belief. I'm just saying that in an ideal scenario, the government should not be involved in private transactions of people. And genuinely, like the way Satoshi Nakamoto first started Bitcoin, that was his vision as well, or her vision, or their vision, that you will be one day completely liberated from any sort of entities and governments or centralized agencies who will be able to dictate how you spend your own finances. That is the way I look at it. But again, I think we are far away.
It's the ultimate goal and or probably a utopia. And obviously, we all know that there are few nuances which
absolutely
global macro that need to be taken care of.
Absolutely. Abhi to hone nahi wala hai. I know that for a fact. But let's see where we go. Urjita, any final questions?
Meghnad's worst nightmare would be waking up, going to metro and seeing, instead of LIC, Crypto Marol Naka. No!
Yeah, that is crazy.
Like, no check-in Sakinaka. Just that.
Okay, any final questions, Urjita, before we wrap up? Or are we sorted?
I feel like, तुमने अगर लोगों का भला किया, तुम्हारे साथ भला होगा. That is
the moral of the story.
Yeah, like if you have good karma, then you will never face any losses in the crypto system. If you have too much cash to burn that you don't know iska kya kare, then that's You should do that with because that's what everybody tells you, right? Like mutual funds में भी ऐसे पैसे डालो जिसकी तुम्हें जरूरत है. मेरे को मेरे हर एक रुपए की जरूरत है. तो
Yeah.
you can never tell me you don't, ऐसे ऐसे पैसे डाल दो जिसकी जरूरत नहीं, ताकि चले गए तो बुरा नहीं लगेगा. मेरा चॉकलेट गुम हो जाता है, मैं 2 दिन तक रोती हूँ. So I'll feel bad about every penny, but yeah. There are many thoughts, but but I feel like the main difference between crypto and blockchain and how the regulate. First of all, I didn't even know that मैंने इतना पढ़ा भी नहीं था कि it's legalized, it's just not regulated. I didn't know the difference and I didn't know, but yeah, many of my basic doubts got solved, and this conversation has basically inspired me to read up more about crypto, and I think that's good.
That's a good sign, wouldn't you say, Ashish?
Yes.
That's a very good sign.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Ashish, for giving us the time and being so patient with us.
Yeah, sorry, that's what also I wanted to I mentioned that whenever I've tried talking to bros about crypto, they they're very key. Arey, you don't know this, you don't know this, you don't know this. It's like जिनको उनको समझ में आता है, मुझे समझ में आता है कि इनको भी खुद को पूरा पता नहीं है. That is why come with this attitude ki don't you know this is the basic. But thank you for being so patient, and I think for me it was explain it like I'm like just got out of my mother's womb. To be like I'm 0 years old. And thank you for explaining it very patiently. But yeah,
No, it was my pleasure, and welcome to the crypto world.
Yeah. Oh, that's a great way to welcome her. So thank you. Thank you, Ashish. Any closing thoughts you have?
From my account? Are you what? How did I sign up?
Ashish, any closing thoughts? And also, where can people follow you? Anything you have to plug?
I think people can follow me on Twitter at Ashish343. And what I would love to say is that what crypto and blockchain is doing is probably changing the world, right? When India, say in 90s, when the internet was born, the West kind of took over the technology. Amazon's, Google, Microsoft of the world today control anything that we build, right? We want to launch a service, we go to Amazon to host it, Google to market it, Facebook to market it, right? But this blockchain technology, today we have the resources, talent to actually build that from India and create a global impact, right? It's still nuanced, it's still very, very, very early, but that is the right time to know whether this could be the next internet, right? We are all believers, but if there are no skeptics, then to be honest, we are not pushed to our boundaries. We don't innovate or answer better, right? I love skeptics, right? Because that gives me enough opportunity to do the right thing, right? To understand their doubts, and maybe we are wrong, right? And we will continue to improve. So I personally believe that crypto would change the way we look at companies today. The companies would evolve to a level which would give more trust to people. People would be freely able to use a lot of technology without even knowing what is underlying blockchain and crypto. And I believe that new internet is starting to happen, and I believe India would dominate that era, right? So in the next 5 years, I want to see India as a superpower in the digital space, powered by blockchain and crypto, and we are the leaders in that space when we don't no longer rely on the Western companies to make our products online, and we build those infrastructures layers ourselves, right? So that's what my belief is, and that's what brought me to crypto as well.
Another thing I have to say, Ashish, it's very rare for CEOs of big exchanges and companies to do like podcasts like this. I wanted to compliment you on that because you took all the questions. And to be honest, guys, I will tell you that he gave me no questions to ask. He just came in saying that, okay, I'm here. Tell me what you want. And that's really great. I think you are setting an example that way for future CEOs in this space, especially to also do more conversations like these. I hope this was fruitful for you also, as it was for us. Urjita, where can people follow you and anything to plug?
You can follow me on Instagram at @Urjita Wani, or you can follow me on Twitter at @Vani Urjita. And also, I would like to ask Ashish that if there is any book or any website that I can follow where I can read up stuff about what's happening in the market.
So here I would plug Coinswitch, and we have created coinswitch.co/switch, which is our blog. You would read daily content, not just about crypto, but about finance as well, which I believe that, you should read more about and see how you manage your funds better. We also have an amazing newsletter which comes out every day telling you what has happened in the crypto space in a very, very simple language that anyone can understand. So please do subscribe to our newsletter, and our website would be a good source. And obviously, YouTube is amazing, and you will find amazing resources there. Yeah.
Definitely.
We'll put those resources in the description below. I think your website and the newsletter link. Nikhil will do that. And also, please follow Urjita's new show. Not new anymore. Has it aged well with Abbas Momin? She does a fantastic job of reviewing 90s movies. अभी latest episode क्या है उर्जिता? आया
अभी
हुआ?
Parinda with Sudarshan.
Parinda.
Yeah.
Yeah. So please do go watch that on the IVM Pop channel. I have been Meghnad. I am Meghnad. You can follow me on Meghnad at mastodon.social, and also me Meghnad on Twitter. And I'm also on Instagram on Meghnad S. Like, share, subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. See you next week. Bye.